So what does it mean to be a normal person? One definition I found says a normal person has no serious physical or mental health problems. So I guess this means I'm not normal. But here in the Invisible Condition podcast, we will talk about these unusually normal things. That's right. Over 80% of our population lives with a physical or mental condition, and a large proportion of us have something that is invisible. Now, I think it's really important to define what I mean. An invisible condition is an illness or health, physical or mental condition that isn't seen from the outside. This may include, but it's not limited to, autoimmune disorders, mental illness, neurodiverse conditions, chronic pain or fatigue, trauma, cancers, and brain injuries. Early in 2023, I shared a vulnerable post on LinkedIn and Instagram. I shared about a bowel resection that pretty much saved my life. You see, I live with Crohn's disease, and I was diagnosed over 20 years ago. My most recent flare lasted over 3 years, and during this time, I looked normal from the outside, but inside, I was slowly fading away. Soon after, I shared about my health journey. Many people, friends and strangers, reached out to thank me for stepping out so vulnerably. People started messaging me about their invisible condition journeys, and a common theme started to emerge. Fear. Fear of sharing because of the stigma attached. They feared judgment. They feared losing their jobs. They feared rejection. They feared making others feel uncomfortable. People are suffering in silence. They're so isolated. I started this project for those who live in fear, who are afraid to show the world they're normal. Our purpose is to invite people to tell their stories. Let's start sharing our unusually normal experiences around invisible conditions so that we can break down the barriers. Let's stop hiding. So, who will you hear on this podcast? Well, not only will you hear from guests who live with invisible conditions, you also hear from their caregivers, like my wife and maybe my kids. I will also talk with health professionals who can educate us about specific conditions and ways to approach people with empathy and compassion. My hope is that Invisible Condition will be a platform where people can feel seen, supported, and empowered. I hope for change, to create a more empathetic, authentically curious, and inclusive society, because everyone deserves to feel they're normal.